this week, we are going to talk about tasks and the deal pipeline. So just like normal, we're going to run through the PowerPoint, and then the second half of it, we're going to jump into the actual CRM. So.
Yeah, and I guess important to point out that obviously you're getting the warnings and everything from BOOJ as you log in. There's a lot of updates happening right now, so if things aren't working perfectly, it's outcome of that. So just something to keep in mind. But just follow along with us. If something doesn't work, it should probably be working in the next couple of days to finish all the updates. So don't be alarmed. I guess is long and short of
it. At least it's somewhat functional today.
So I guess we'll start off by talking about some core concepts with deal managers, tasks, all this fun stuff. So I guess the question that is posed here is, how do you manage tasks? I mean, some people it's sticky notes, other people it's a notebook, other people it's a spreadsheet. So like kind of that philosophy of how you manage it and kind of what solutions there are out there for you to do it a little differently, right? And we talked about the different types of tasks. So for the most part, your tasks fall into three buckets, right? You either have tasks related to a contact that you're working with, right? You have some tasks related to a deal that you're trying to close or finish, correct? And then finally, you have some personal tasks that you need to handle. Those are typically basically your three basic tasks, buckets of tasks that you deal with on a daily basis. Everyone cool with that? No disagreements? All right, well, that's good. So, again, contact tasks are associated with individual leads or contacts. We lost the end of that. Sorry. While you're still kind of working toward having a agreed to contract, right? Once that's completed, your deal tasks are basically is when you start jumping into the individual deals within the CRM. So, right? So you start off with a lead who you don't know much about, turns into a contact as you're kind of working with them, right? You maybe become their exclusive buyer agent. They make an offer on a home. It's accepted, and then we jump into deal tasks. And now we're working through, right, making sure we have all our contracts in place, we have everything done, inspections, all that fun stuff, and you're dealing with deal tasks. And then finally, obviously personal tasks. I don't think I need to tell you all, but our tasks are not associated with a contract or a deal, but they're still important to track, right? Like, I don't know, sending out your monthly newsletter and all these kinds of things, right? Sarah, I didn't even cut you off.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, phew, look at that. Anyway, for all tasks, you can obviously select a due date and a priority level, right? Different score, different colors, I think, in this case. I'm colorblind, so I don't really know. And if you work on a team, you can actually assign those tasks out to other users, right? So if you're a team lead and you've got a couple things that need to get done, whether it be with a certain lead or on a deal or whatnot, you can swing those over to somebody else. Or if it's an overall kind of campaign thing, whatever it might be, you can assign them out. Good? Mm-hmm. Lively for a Monday morning? Mm-hmm. I wonder if we have any questions on here. I should probably keep an eye on the chat every once in a while. Okay. So, I do that and then nothing works. So, I guess we're going to jump in here and we're going to let you all log into BOOJ. So you guys can kind of follow along here a little bit. Is everybody in?
Mm-hmm. We can do that when we run through.
I know, I'm just giving them the opportunity. We'll give you a minute or two. Get caught up. But in the most cases, so we'll talk about it here. Obviously, we always talk about the settings, right? We have our little hamburger. Everyone can follow along. The three lines, right? Your patty, your bun, and your patty. So that's when we say hamburger. I'm sure you'll never forget it for the rest of your lives now. That weird image is burnt into your brains.
Let's do the settings first, because our page doesn't look like that.
Mm-hmm. So when you go to settings.
Oh yeah, I guess we should have a 1 and then 2, right?
Yeah. So if you hit the little avatar in the top right corner, and then hit settings, it'll bring you to a different looking screen. But if you hit the hamburger and go to tasks, it'll bring you to this.
Right. So I guess on our slides, if you're following along at home, I'm sure some of you are. First, obviously, to update your settings, you're going to come over, click on your avatar. Is that what we're going to refer to it as? And then on the left side, you're going to click on the hamburger, and you can actually go further into task settings.
And we'll jump through all of those in a little bit, just
Yep.
so, because there's a couple things to point out.
But anyway, so you can, within there, you can set your notifications, you can customize, edit, create, you can make your own custom task plans, you can change the plans that have already been put out there for you and just kind of edit them. And then you can do triggered task plans, which means that as you're working through and certain things happen, then another task plan pops up, right? So you kind of have your workflow all worked out for you. Does that make sense? Sarah, feel free to jump in here.
So future of tasks. So you may have some of this functionality right now. It may be coming soon for some of you. Kind of depends, because we're all updating. But you're going to be able to eventually leave comments for tasks. You're going to set notifications, which you should have access to that because we have it in ours. And then you'll have team functionality in the tasks as well. And then you can actually export your tasks. So if you ever wanted to just kind of have a printed out checklist of your tasks, you can do that. But some of this you may have access to, some not. But it will be coming soon if you don't have it yet. Okay, and just a reminder that in Remax University, there are a ton of videos. They're shorter videos, so they're not super painful, I promise. But if you have certain things that you want to accomplish with your tasks, they have a bunch of task videos that they've uploaded since last week, which is nice. Okay. So you also have the option with, similar to tasks, you can schedule events in your CRM as well. So if you're scheduling a closing or an inspection, you'll be able to do all of that in your CRM. Obviously, it'll be tracked to that specific contact or that specific deal. You can put notes in here. You can email whatever you need for that specific event. You can invite other people to the event, obviously, as well. And then if we hit the next slide, I think, yeah. So you'll eventually have integration with, I think, Google, Gmail, Outlook, or Exchange, and some of the iCloud email systems. So you'll be able to make those events show up on your actual email calendar as well.
So yeah, on your iPhones, Androids, all that stuff, you'll have integrated calendar, reminders, everything. Once we get this actual integration up and running, which I think should be coming up soon.
Yeah. And then this is just showing you the different views. So you can obviously do a calendar view if that's your preference, or kind of like an agenda list view of all the events and tasks you have coming up. And once this goes live, we'll kind of dive into it a little bit more, but none of us have this functionality yet. Okay, deals. So within a contact, you can actually create a deal. So a deal would be when your client goes under contract on a home, if they're a buyer, or if you're working with sellers, whenever they go active on the market. So you can track previous deals in your CRM, and then you can obviously add new active deals as well. And this is just a reminder of all the things you can do with the deal management. And then this is a view of what it will look like when you click on the little deal tab up at the, I forgot my little hand thing. The deal tab up at the very top, but essentially you'll have prospect, active, pending, and closed deals. And you'll be able to move them around, add in more information. It'll track your commission, things of that nature, all from one screen. And you'll also be able to filter these deals. So if you're looking maybe just at your prospects, because maybe you want to do a marketing campaign or follow up with some people to kind of get some things rolling, you can filter in the whole deal pipeline based off whatever your preferences are. Buyer deals, seller deals, all of that.
Right.
And then, of course, just like all the other main screens on the CRM, you can view things in a list view or the grid view, pipeline view. So similar to when we were focusing on the websites, remember we had the pages and there were little thumbnails, that was the grid view. Or if you wanted to do a list view, you could do it that way as well. Some people it's just easier to see it this way. And of course you can filter across the top, you can edit the columns if you are focusing maybe on a specific price range, things of that nature, you can filter your whole pipeline accordingly.
Right. And then you can jump into the actual contact themselves directly from here, or the actual deal itself from here as well. And you can save views and load views if you've had certain filters that you already put together that you like, or particular views that you like. So all that is almost exactly the same as your contact dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I clicked off of it. everything works until I stop clicking on places. All right, there we go.
Okay, and then eventually the deal portion of the CRM will be integrated into our transaction management software. So they have launched, I think, DocuSign, Dotloop, and ZipLogics, but SkySlope is pretty close up next on the list. So pretty much what that will do is eliminate some of this repetitive data input, so you won't be having to input everything into SkySlope and then input everything into your CRM. It'll kind of link together, so the property, the information, the sales price, all that will transfer. Should be nice. And again, once this goes live, we'll do another class so we can run through that whole process, but coming soon. Okay, let's jump into BOOJ.
All right. You want to drive it from here?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure.
You want to use someone's login for this? Or I can drive if you need to talk to me where you're going to go.
Good. All right, is everybody logged in?
I'm going to do this.
Yeah, so it's crashing. I'm trying to open up my contacts.
You know, you look like you're looking at YouTube videos.
Well, it was actually fantasy football.
Who won? I won.
Well, I got Monday. I still have tonight. But I may be the first person to get Lisa.
Good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was watching it all day yesterday. I was like, oh.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
end
so
up
for those of you
winning.
online, there may be some issues when you first log in. Due to the update, it'll kind of bump you up a few times or give you an error message, but eventually it should load.
67 overall.
But
happened? She had a bunch of. Oh, she had all the Panthers because she was running with the running back.
I may take her down and see.
There you go.
Okay,
Sarah doesn't even know how she's doing fantasy football.
I set my lineup this week. It's bad. All right, so once you log in, it should bring you to the home screen, the dashboard. So we're going to go all the way up to the top right to your avatar and set up your settings first things first. So hit the avatar, select settings, ignore the notifications, and then you're going to come up to the top left under the settings pages. Click on that hamburger. Thank you. Put on the hamburger, and then select tasks at the very bottom of that list. You in? Are you using Chrome?
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to Task Manager. You can ignore this for now. But we're going to start at the top here. So task notifications. Again, this is a simple one, but essentially, how do you want to be notified when a task is assigned to you or when you're exporting things? So you can do it through the web. Just means whenever you log onto your computer and log into BOOJ, you'll get a notification, email, or if you have the BOOJ app, which hopefully all of you have the app right now. If you don't, we can talk at that. Okay, so under task plans, they are automatically giving you 4 task plans that are already created. You can come in here and edit them if they don't really flow with how your workflow works. But if you just want to click onto the first one so we can see it, buy or close. So you can change the name based off of what the task plan is. You can also go in and add different task items beneath it as well. So if you go, we just clicked into a task. Sorry, scroll down for me. Yes, okay. So I was looking for the list view. So there's a list if you wanted to see kind of what items are under this task plan. So if you did want to delete one or edit it for whatever reason, you can do that using the little icons on the right side. So maybe you want to keep these people searching, whatever. You can delete this one or change the name or what exactly it is. And you can also change the priority. So if it's a low, medium, or high priority, you can set that there. As far as stage, you can put this, I believe, based off of the task plan itself and where you're applying it. You'd be able to update the status. Am I saying that correctly? Yeah. Okay. And then day offset. So pretty much from when this task plan is assigned to a contact, that is going to be your day offset. So day 1, for whatever reason, is actually 0, and then it goes onwards from that. So if you wanted somebody, a week out from when you create this task plan to do something, you would essentially have to say day 6 instead of day 7. It's confusing. I don't really know why they did it that way, but just so you're aware, if you want something to be exactly a week out, set it to day 6 for your offset rather than day 7. Make sense? And then if you want to put a description in here, so if this is pretty short for you and you have very specific things that you need to do for that portion of the task plan, you can put in a description that kind of runs you through what you need to do. Has anyone taken a look at the task plans? I mean, do they seem somewhat useful, or do they going to need a lot of editing?
It may need
A little tweaking?
it's basic, but I think it's just enough to where everybody's just going to tweak it to where I feel like one of those really hands-on agents are not.
Yeah. So any questions on how to edit the specific task in the task plan? Create your own task within the task plan. Again, if this is like way too many steps for you, maybe go through and just delete it and focus on like the high level stuff. This isn't meant for everybody, but it should at least, I mean, you guys are doing all of these things, so it's just sometimes crazy to see them all written out.
So I have a question. So once this task plan is activated, how do we activate it first?
So we'll have to apply it to a contact, or you can do the ones that are triggered by, like if a lead converts to a contact, like certain.
Oh, so it would like automatically.
Yeah, and we'll jump into that in just a second.
And that'll all show up on my calendar too.
All right, so these are all the details for the set the set task plans that they have in here for you. If we click on task plans again, if you guys did want to rename these, edit these, you can do that here. You can also, at the top right, add your own task plan. So if these just don't fit with what you're trying to do or what your business is, you can add your own task plan and add in those specific task items.
And the only date you can key it off is whatever date you created the transaction.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. So you don't have to like if you wanted to.
But the trigger, I mean, you can set the triggers and it can automatically key it off that date that it triggers over.
Okay, we're going to go over triggers?
Yeah. Right now.
Because, our critical date is due diligence. So, we have things triggered off of that date. Just wondering. I don't have triggers for it.
Well, I guess my thought would be, if you had a deal that goes, right, so you go under contract, that's the trigger date.
There's lots of dates that you can have.
But it would be, if you go under contract,
even?
well, if you would do your trigger date to start, because this is the day you went under contract, then your task list is arrived from the day it goes under contract. So due diligence is what you put it at to remind you a week ahead of time and a day ahead of time at 5 p.m. But I always thought that it would be triggered from the day you go under contract.
So you can set it. So you can automatically apply a task plan to a contact so that if you were doing it like everything all at once, you have your contact in your CRM and then you wanted to, you went under contract on something, so you would put them into your deal pipeline. If you did wait at that point, then at that point you could apply the task plan that would follow those steps. Some people may be using the system where they have the prospect, so you'd already have them in your deal pipeline, and so you could do kind of what you're talking about where a certain action is taken. Like if they go under contract, that's when that whole thing kicks off. Yeah, kind of just depends.
I guess we can always give feedback if we want to use a different date besides the date we have.
Well, you should be able to, when you apply a task plan to a deal or a contact, you should be able to manipulate when that individual task is. So if you have your set kind of task plan here, but maybe the due diligence date doesn't really line up with how it's supposed to for that specific contract, you should be able to edit just that.
Edit anyway.
Yeah.
I see so much stuff off of settlement date, because I can't remember anything. So I'll be 7 days before settlement,
Mhm.
I send seller an email asking for receipts for repairs. 5 days before settlement, remind seller to disconnect utilities. So I guess we could just give feedback saying we have a different date.
Is it only based off of what you're asking? Like you can go in and say either before closing or after contract accepted.
Right.
Like, are there multiple ways to?
Not now. Is all it is just you gotta put in like.
Yeah.
You have to put in a hard
Day offset is from the day you start the
Yeah.
process.
And I mean, if you don't complete the task right then, it'll just show up on a past due. So I mean, if it's only like off by one day, it may just be something that shows up on your past due tasks, and you just know that you have to complete it.
Yeah, because that's actually, I think, kind of important. You know your closing date. A week before closing, you have to have
Mhm.
A, B, and C. It's easier to say before closing versus
When the task was
When
created.
the task was
after,
created.
right?
Because it's
Day
just pulled from
offset.
here.
But so then you're working backwards from a date.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a
Fascinating.
way we could hit add task plan.
Well, maybe you're talking about those triggers. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, because I was thinking maybe if you did like almost like mini task plans where it was like you're under contract or you're like a week. Like I wonder if you could
Yeah.
set these mini task plans to kind of line up. We'll find out for you guys.
I would assume it's going to be in the autumn. There's going to be some of it.
Yes, there is the automations, task plan automations, and then if you go to add automation in the top right, so here you're essentially selecting, so this might somewhat answer it, but it may still be working a little bit backwards. So you're selecting
Let's say listing deal.
a listing deal, and then whenever that's added into your CRM, and then you would set your specific task plan based off of that.
So you could actually set it kind of backwards that way. If you find the right date, trigger date, you could set it so it plays out the way you would want to.
What I would say, like maybe if you have like a due diligence ending, maybe you make an event for that, just so that you'll get notified that the event is happening that day, so that if you do have, for whatever reason, have to like track down somebody for a check or repairs or whatever, then at least you have that on your calendar for now until we figure out a way to work around it.
Yeah, I think in the end it's probably easier if you don't have to create so many events
Mhm.
or tasks, plans,
Yeah.
and it's just all in one task. So you can know you can either choose, because some people maybe work better from one direction than the other.
Mhm. Mhm. So, but yeah, so we'll find out more as we get into
get feedback, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the
So
little
we got for.
question mark at the
Everybody know
bottom.
where that's at, so you go to that little question mark down there. If you'd like to see BOOJ do something more additional, you can put your comments in there.
Yeah. Always good. Under the automations, does it give you more options? Like if you were to do
I don't think it's really.
buyer deal?
It just says.
It just says added. Okay. That might be more coming soon.
And then
As
it
well.
doesn't let you, under task plan, there's no option there.
So these would be the ones that you created
Yeah.
up here on the top
From the
left.
other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference?
So if you had, I guess, multiple buyer task plans, you'd be able to pull from that drop-down list of how you'd wanted things to lay out. We'll get more information on the task plans and how to organize them, and touch base with you guys. But under the settings, that's where you can edit all of this stuff once we figure it all out. Going up to the contacts and leads section, we're just going to run through how to create a deal. And we're also going to show you where you can add task plans and things like that. So, contacts and leads. And if you have any contacts in here, you can jump into one. I think we're going to use, we did our friends' contacts last week.
Where'd you come up with the names for these emails?
The emails, just based off of their characters and friends. So, like Chef Monica.
You came up with that?
This one is just because he's Joey. So it's funny. Okay. Okay, so contacts and leads. I'm going to jump into Chandler Bing. And then on his kind of main screen, I'm going to scroll up a little bit. So we're under dashboard of our specific contact. And then if you notice down at the bottom, Activities is here. So this is where if you've already applied a task to that specific contact, it's going to show up there. If you wanted to manually add a task to this person, so maybe he just transferred from a lead to a contact, you can go ahead and hit add task or apply task plan on the right side. So add task would be one individual task. So maybe you're reminding yourself to call him and touch base, and you see that his lead score or something has gone up, and so you want to see what he's doing or what he's searching for specifically. So that would be an add task, individual task add. So you can put in the priority type. I'm not really sure why the contact deal or personal. So maybe it's a personal one because it's a reminder to you. Oh no, wait, it would be a contact because we're in a contact. Never mind. And then you just put in what the actual task is. Questions on how to add an individual one? If you want to add one so we can see where it shows up on the calendar. Call Chandler. And we can set the due date for tomorrow. Cool. And then this is where if you're on a team or working with somebody, you can assign the task to another person if they're linked to your account. Cool. And then same concept. So, well, let's not apply the task plan yet. But so now we have an individual task assigned to Chandler. What I also want to do is go to household. And so we have Chandler and, oh, well, it was together. We had Chandler and Monica in a household together. And so let's say that they are, we can add them. Yeah, we'll go ahead and add Monica. This part was being slow for me earlier, so eventually she'll show up. System updates. So we have Chandler and Monica, and they are ready to buy their first house. So we're going to go into, eventually it will work. We're going to go into Chandler's contact, and we're going to go to deals. Okay, and so we don't have any active deals for Chandler right now, but we're going to go ahead and add one. Because maybe we're starting the home search process. So you can name your deal whatever you want. Maybe just his name, since he's a buyer. And then you can select the deal type. So since he's looking to buy a home, you can also put, if you already know his deal stage, so meaning, if you'll click on that, if he's a prospect, actively looking, pending because he's already under contract on something, closed or fell through. So maybe you want to go ahead and add him as a or I guess do active, since we know he's interested in something. You can put his price range. It'll automatically calculate your commission amount as well. And then you can set dates. So maybe if you're going back and adding in people that you've already been working with, you want to select whatever date you started working with them. Okay, and so Chandler is our primary contact, but since him and Monica are looking together, we can go ahead and add in her so that this deal is tracking on both of their accounts. And then we hit add deal. And hopefully this will work. Okay, perfect. So we have this here in the individual contact. If we also, there's no deals. Yeah. Sorry, here's a look at this office stuff. Sorry, you guys have an agent account. Ours has a few different. Cool. All right, well, you guys should have a deals tab.
Yeah, we don't have.
Up to the top.
right next to contacts and leads.
Yeah, it's right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there.
I had one earlier. Well, maybe we can log out and log into Sandy's. There's no agent option up here anymore. It's gonna let you click into it. And then maybe bring this to 10%. Okay, so within the contact, we'll at least show you this, and then we'll log out and log into someone else's account. Within the contact, you can go further into the deal. So if you needed to add, this is where eventually the integration with SkySlope will come in. So you don't have to dual input both of those things, and then you can just add in more information. You can mark that it fell through, and then obviously you can move it on to the next stage of the deal pipeline. And it will track activities associated with this deal. So if you have those automatic task plans set up so that when it goes into a new active contact or whatever in your pipeline, those tasks will pull through. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to log into somebody else's account if anyone wants to give us their information so we can show you what deals look like. Then I'll jump at once.
Never mind. I don't
Okay.
have anything in there.
That's okay.
You need somebody that has something in there?
No, I just wanted to be able to pull up
Yeah.
the deal pipeline.
So I guess that means I gotta give you my login. I don't know it.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I gotta look at it too.
I mean, maybe try to click into it. Oh. Hey.
Who's Sarah?
I guess. Yeah, not happening.
Okay. Yeah, if you remember yours, will you log in?
Okay. Just want me to spell you it?
Can you figure out why in the world is, let's say, an invalid date for my connection? It's not down, but that was like interaction date. Yeah.
There are very lots of weird. They go buttons and then right out F-I-N-S. And then do
Capital?
I know. And then do capital M. And then try 4,000.
Interesting.
Oh well, there you go. That wasn't it.
Wait, let's try that again.
MUFFINS capital M.
Get into my
4,000.
4,000.
contacts account.
Or no. Try
Are you Gina Lorenzo or Gina Lorenzo?
I think it's Gina Dollar. This is my life. Maybe
Maybe tomorrow. Because I didn't do anything.
That's what I was doing a while ago, and then it went into error message.
But I show my account.
I'll take anyone's account.
Yeah, it's Gina.Lorenzo at remax.net. Try.
Do you want mine? So go in, dot.
That's why we save everything.
Wait,
We don't have
for here?
Yeah.
Some people.
Pat Miller.
Yep.
Dot remax@gmail.com. Password is lowercase a. I'm not on Sona.
You want me to mute you for a second?
Yeah.
Hold on.
From here. Why do you understand that?
I do not. So.
You go to BOOJ.
Yeah, let us know if
If you
you're
find-
getting a strange email.
Oh.
If you have the email, can I look at it later?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no.
Why did you do that?
Bizarre.
Is this still my account?
Something like that.
Hold on. So I wonder if this
Here,
is Sarah.
upper left.
This is so interesting.
Magically move it.
I know, that's what we did.
Merged your account.
Exactly what I did.
Oh.
I think it's because the cache, it hasn't cleared the cache. So
Is there an individual sign out on the right?
So weird.
it's the cache. Hold on. These are the fun things that
Yeah, like maybe we should have waited to have this until we just.
we gotta clear the Chrome cache. This is fun. Where is it? Clear.
That's weird, because you think you signed here with my stuff, and then
That'll do it. Go here. I'll click here. It might make us sign in completely. Yep. That's what I thought. Everyone bear with us just a second while we do this one more time.
oh, there you
There you go. Alright, and then we come here, make sure. And we're back. What's this? Go to BOOJ. Come on. There they are.
Yay. Okay.
So clear the cache.
So where were we?
Back to deals.
So we had added a deal to a specific contact. Obviously, it won't show up. It's okay. It won't show up in this account. But what you can do is go to your deals tab, and then that specific deal would have shown up under its respective stage. So I think we added it under active.
Yeah.
So Chandler, Bing, and Monica's house search would have shown up under the active section. I'm trying to think, do you care if we add one and then delete it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So if you are on the deal page directly, you can add a deal. At the top right, there's a blue button that says Add Deal, and this should look exactly the same as what we just did on that individual contact tab. So. You can put in the information, and if you guys want to do the same, you should be able to delete it afterwards. And then this, of course, your primary participant, and then your additional. I think we do have to add at least one. Do you have any contacts in your?
I do have contact. But volunteer is in contact. ALD. There you go.
Okay. Thank you for letting us use your account. Okay, so.
Wait for it.
The deal should show up under. Well, your deal pipeline. We'll refresh it one more time, but maybe hit reset. No, there's no filters.
There's no filters at all.
Cool. So, working with this. So, let's just imagine that this little deal is showing right here under the active section. So, it should be like a little square for those of you online that can't see me. Yes. So, what you can do, again, is, of course, click into it, add in your notes, add in the additional information. But you can also literally click onto the deal and drag it into the next stage. And then I believe at the very bottom of the page, if it did ever fall through, there is a fall through button at the very bottom. But that way you don't have to essentially go in. It should be pretty easy to transition your deals from one stage to the other. So especially from prospect to active. Oh, well, that's a really good learning tool. So up at the very top, right under the deals title, you have pipeline and list, but you also have list and buy. So our deal was actually hiding because we were under list view, and he is a buyer. So if you click the little drop down that's highlighted in blue, you can change list versus buy. All right, so now we have Chandler's house down here at the bottom left. If we want to move him to the active status, you can literally just click and drag. And then, of course, if you have task plans based off of the different statuses, then those will update and automatically send out to Chandler and put on your schedule. So if you notice, too, when you click on it, there's a red little box that pops up at the very bottom. No. And look at you. Click and drag.
Oh, click and drag.
If you click on drag, so if it did fall through, you can put it down here under fell through at the very bottom. Now, even if it falls through, that will still be tracked within your contact as well. So you don't have to worry about losing that information. And then as Al had it, you want to go back up. If you click on the actual deal itself, or how you had it before, where you clicked, like in the white box, it'll show you open tasks, overdue. Oh.
Did what?
Sorry. And then of course you can add tasks from here as well. So any questions about adding a deal, whether it's on the pipe or on the deal tab or with the individual contact? Sorry, this has been of the updates. Yeah, sorry guys.
Like it asked me for the closing date, and then I add that, and then I put the deal as pending, and then I check my calendar, and it doesn't even add.
It doesn't show up.
Close date. Yeah. So like I guess we still have to.
That integration probably just doesn't switch on.
So
You have to refresh.
So the close date, I would say if you're like, I don't know if that will show up on your calendar per se, but I would say create an event for the closing, and that will show up on your calendar. So for those of you online, the question was that her close date that she entered into the system for her deal wasn't showing up. But just for now, until they kind of fine tune all of these task plans and things, I would go ahead and add in an event for the actual closing, and then that will show up on your calendar. Does that make sense? Okay. And then of course, obviously the filters on here as well. You can filter through, so if you're looking for a specific person, again, different origination dates, things of that nature, you can filter through and manage your deals just like you can on your contacts tab. And then if you click into it, you can add more information, just like before, again, when you're in that individual contact. Okay. Any questions? Sorry, that was a little shoddy, but we're working through the updates.
Do I need to do anything to enable push notifications for my app?
It should be under your settings.
Yeah, if you go to your settings, the question was, how do you set up push notifications to the app? If you go to settings, top right corner, go to
Are you looking for settings for like for deals or for tasks?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do it under tasks.
Yeah, so there was an option for it.
And then task notifications.
Because right now I have like everything clicked until we get annoyed.
Until you find out what's too much.
Right.
And then I think, yeah, there was a deals option. I wonder if there's a deals notifications. Yep. So there's different notifications based off of each different phase.
I always turn all the cats on. I keep forgetting we're in cats. Sorry, cat.
All right.
Hold on, I just want to undo these two. I click these two. Okay. Sorry, cat.
And for those of you, the app, when you're hitting app notifications, that just means it's going to be like a push notification. So it's like similar how you get notified through a text message. They'll just pop up on your screen and let you know whatever is happening in your CRM. So you have the options for notifications in the app, just through your web kind of portal, and then some of them do allow for text message notifications as well. Oh, and then since we were here on the calendar, I guess we didn't end up doing anything under Kat's account, but under my account, because I created those different tasks for Chandler and Monica, they would show up here on the top left under calendar. So anything I had that I needed to be doing or that was upcoming, so events or tasks would show up under the calendar section. If you want to edit that option on the bottom left, you can filter it so that if you just wanted to see upcoming events on your dashboard or tasks, but we have it set to all. And then of course you can filter it just by today, this week, or this month.
I think this is just gonna take a lot of like playing around.
Yeah,
Once it's live.
and working.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really all we have today as far as tasks and managing the deal pipeline. Once we find out some more information on tasks and kind of how they work best with kind of working from the closing date onwards, then we will touch base with you guys. I don't see any questions on chat, so let us know if you have questions. We'll send out the recording and the PowerPoint hopefully later today.